It is not only strange, but it's really, really, I don't get it. I mean, just because Real Madrid want to get Kylian Mbappe next time around, and of course, the one, the only Erling Haaland, the ever so expensive player, of course, because of his most expensive agent. So Real Madrid's official targets look like Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland. So they would even want to give up Marco Asensio in that pursuit. But more importantly, see, if Mbappe comes out on a free next season, it'll be just wages and all those money that Real Madrid would pay him up front just to join their club as a bonus. So what happens to Asensio? We're going to talk about that in this episode. Of course, we got a piece of information that is really gonna baffle you, but let's talk about Andres Beoni. So Andres Beoni says the initial diagnosis of Granit Xhaka's injury was a rupture of the internal ligament in the right knee. Internal ligament, which means a collateral ligament, which helps, those collateral. There are two kinds of collateral ligaments in your knee. One that takes care of the middle inner part of the knee, and one that takes care of the outer part of the knee. So the inner part of the knee, which means the medial collateral ligament, which was one of the ligaments that I suggested also that would be a problem, because when I saw in the live match, also when I said during my live stream that Granit Xhaka's knee went inside and it was a shock absorber movement, but it really put a big amount of stress on the ligament. We are looking at a grade 2 or grade 3 kind of a tear, but the knee went more towards the right hand side and then it came back to its original position, if I have to say this in a much more in a layman term. So this suggests that, of course, according to Andres Beoni, they said that he will be out for at least 6 to 8 weeks. Well, yes, losing some months. That is if he does not take surgery as an option, because generally they heal up well, but if the damage is a little towards more grade 3, then he might undergo surgery, which would take around 3 months, proper 3 months. But then, yeah, I think if he waits, physical therapy, waits, if he's having that a course of rehabilitation during that time period, then yes, it probably is a very good thing to see. But Andres also said that more tests are pending, but a cruciate ligament rupture can be ruled out. So no anterior cruciate ligament, no posterior cruciate ligament injury. So it was all, actually the whole movement was from left to right. So it was, I could say that collateral ligament was not a big problem. So if that's the case, I think it's not a major hurdle. He's not out for months or even a year. He's just out for a couple of months tops. So moving on, let's talk about Alan Shearer's Premier League Team of the Week, featuring Arsenal's duo Bukayo Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe. He makes sure that these two youngsters, the Hale End products, made into the 11. Although I would want to say Aubameyang's arrival into the team as well, but Jamie Vardy scored an own goal and a couple of goals himself. I think, yeah, Vardy really had some... the finish was really good for Jamie Vardy's goal, but let's move on with that. By the way, if you know or you don't know, Samir Nasri has called it quits on his footballing career. So Samir's, Jack Wilshere shared his appreciation for Samir on his Instagram stories. He says, "Love him or hate him, what a player. Enjoy your life, my friend, and congratulations on your career." Hey, Jack Wilshere, he can do whatever he wants in his Instagram, man. And moving on, here's Jack Wilshere. Granit Xhaka's wife Leonita sharing this. Xhaka in a knee brace. Yep, that's what you give for a ligament injury patients. They are supposed to walk and ambulate with that. So yes, she shared this, which gives us also an insight of what exactly might have gone wrong with his knee. But moving on, here's Matteo Guendouzi, pulling off a Matteo Guendouzi. They recently lost to Lens, I guess 3-2. So after Lens scored their second goal, Guendouzi was seen sprinting straight at teammate Gerson before confronting him, reportedly questioning his teammate for not running enough. Now, this is completely fine, but it's completely fine. You're supposed to ask that. But the Brazilian did not react kindly to his teammates' accusations and had to be held back by other Marseille players. Considering the current harmony in the Arsenal dressing room, Arteta's decision to allow Guendouzi to leave the Emirates Stadium. So, according to this report, Matteo Guendouzi pulled off a Matteo Guendouzi and anger on one of his teammates. We saw what he did in his previous clubs as well. At Arsenal, we saw there was some sort of temper issues. The whole Neil Maupay situation back again, and then he went to Hertha Berlin. There were some issues at Hertha Berlin with that as well. But this is the first one that is actually, yeah, this is the first one that is actually doing the rounds on the market while his time at Marseille. I think, I mean, come on, man. You can ask your teammates if they're not running back. There's nothing wrong with what Guendouzi did there. But I've not seen the whole video. If there's a video compilation of that, I've not seen that, so I don't know what kind of aggressive thing was that. But hey, during the game, if you actually you straight up try to spit facts, maybe your teammates won't like it. So I think that was that kind of reaction from Gerson as well. I don't know, but I think it's normal from Guendouzi, man. Can't be hating him for everything. Moving on, Jamie Carragher makes Ben White U-turn after Arsenal's victory over Tottenham. Now, Jamie Carragher spoke something about Ben White that he had to eat a humble pie about. So, Carragher was one of those who was critical of Leeds United Loney, telling Sky Sports that Ben White isn't going to get as many opportunities to step in with the ball, to actually show the quality that we all associate with him. And then people are going to watch tonight and think they just play long balls on Ben White's head and you're going to get joy. I'm pretty much sure this is what he said during the start of the season when Arsenal were losing. Yeah, I think after the Brentford game. But hey, just hear out what Carragher had to say after the North London derby. He says, Harry Kane not at the races, really not acceptable. His performance in that game, he got bullied by Ben White. Those, I love to see, especially people like Carragher, you know, eating a humble pie. I really love Gary Neville, Carragher. They speak a lot. A lot. And at times, Roy Keane. Love to see them eat their humble pie. But Roy Keane really makes some damning. I don't know, man. I think many people love Roy Keane for that. But let's talk about Paul Merson. Now, Paul Merson has spoken about Takehiro Tomiyasu. Paul Merson says, my only problem with Arsenal is that they buy players, but they never beat anybody to the play. This is what he said before, you know, when Arsenal's transfer window, the transfer window closed down. He said it's bad business, the kind of players that they bought in. Another humble pie eater, you know, Mason. Yes, Tomiyasu making Mason eat his humble pie as well. I just can't get this. Why do they do that? But let's talk about some other stuff. Let's talk about Willian. He says, my year at Arsenal was a bit complicated. I really could not adapt to the club. I wasn't happy there. To make it very clear too, it wasn't the club that wanted me to leave. I wanted to leave the club. I expressed my feeling and I said I wasn't happy. I mean, whatever happens, I think my respect to Willian will always stay because the guy was not happy and he left. Not many do that, especially a certain individual from Bosnia, a certain German, and of course, a set of Germans. Yeah, they're there to, you know, suck up all those wages. But let's talk about Tomiyasu. So, Tomiyasu, when he first heard about Arsenal wanting to sign him, he says, I just could not believe it when I found out. I was very excited as soon as I knew. I didn't need to call anyone or speak to anyone for advice. It was an easy choice for me because it's Arsenal. Before that game against Norwich, I was really nervous, so I really appreciated the help from all the players, especially Odegaard. He told me you have to enjoy this game this time, really enjoy it, and that's what I was able to do. It helped me. We were able to take the 3 points. It meant it was a good day for me, but I think of my own performance, actually I'm not 100% satisfied. I made some mistakes, especially defensively, but I think it will get better. It was just my first game. Of course it's going to get better. You're awesome, man. But let's talk about Marco Asensio for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. So here's the thing. Now we all know that, you know, Real Madrid turned down a big offer from Arsenal. Not much of a big offer, but a £34 million bid was rejected by Real Madrid. However, it is believed that Arteta could go back for Asensio in January as Arsenal boss looks to continue his long-term project at the Emirates Stadium. However, the deal could be a damning blow to Nicolas Pepe. Now, if he comes in, what happens to Nicolas Pepe? Asensio also likes to play out wide more often. He's more of a wider player. What happens? Arsenal have now a lot of wingers. We were crying for, you know, Arsenal to have wingers, but now it's a time that yes, there are lots of wingers at Arsenal. I don't know what they're going to do with that. So Asensio, let me know, is it a hit or miss for you? But Glenn Hoddle was unhappy with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Now he says that suddenly they have got a 4v versus 4. It's too easy for them to get at this defense. As the ball comes across to Saka, it's a good finish from Smith Rowe, but if we analyze this, we have to look at Højbjerg selling himself. He's the last man in defense. Look at the gap there, and suddenly a 4v4 appears. well, Hoddle was not happy with what he saw from, you know, yeah. Juventus want Aaron Ramsey loan swap. They're going to swap Aaron Ramsey with Timothy Castagne of Leicester City. So we might see that, you know, Ramsey coming to Leicester. But also we also understood that you know, Juventus would want Granit Xhaka in a swap deal with Ramsey as well. That was also doing the rounds. But hey, those are just rumors. Just don't believe everything what you see. Yeah. Cheers. I'll see you in the next one. Until then.